Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Raphael Varane shows his class against Liverpool. Manchester United produced a gutsy away display at Anfield on Sunday in the Premier League as they held Liverpool to a goalless draw. Fans were fearing a repeat of last season's performance, considering the mounting injury list and the kind of form both teams were in going into the contest. The result meant United became the first team to not lose at Anfield this season and the first to stop the host from scoring. This was possible thanks to the manager's decision to go back to basics, like playing a compact midfield where everyone is allotted their position, and by starting Raphael Varane at the back. Erik ten Hag had not started the Frenchman for close to 2 months before his chance against Bayern München, and on Sunday he showed why the team is better off with him at the back. Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof have taken turns playing in his stead, and while they have done a steady job, the World Cup winner remains in a class of his own when fit. Against Jurgen Klopp's side, the former Real Madrid superstar made 15 clearances, the second most in a single Premier League game this season. He was an absolute rock at the back, winning all the duels he competed in while making 3 interceptions and blocking 2 goal-bound efforts. Despite intense pressure from the host, he managed 57 touches of the ball while completing 27 out of 34 passes as well as a long ball. Even when playing on the left-hand side of the defense, Varane remained resolute, and this shows how much of a folly it will be if the defender is allowed to leave in January. Ten Hag needs to play the former French international more often, if fit, even if the other centre-backs return from injury. United have missed the combination of Varan and Lisandro Martinez this season, a partnership that served the club well in the manager's debut season. Roy Keane gives verdict on Manchester United youngster Kobbie Mainoo. Former Manchester United captain Roy Keane warned Kobbie Mainoo about taking chances in and around his own box, but has welcomed his appearance in the team versus Liverpool. Mainoo is well thought of at Old Trafford and was earmarked in pre-season to have a standout year. Injury against Real Madrid in the US scuppered plans for the Reds to integrate the teenager fully. However, upon his return, Erik ten Hag has stuck by his promise to give Mainoo chances. The midfielder made his full senior debut in the league against Everton last month and was praised as a revelation for his ability to take the ball deep and move play forward. Keane was impressed by what he saw against Everton, but he offered Mainoo a word of advice before kick-off at Anfield on Sunday, he told Sky Sports. We have seen him in the couple of games he has had at Everton. He had good decision making, his passing was fine, but playing at Everton and Liverpool is like a chalk and a cheese. They obviously have great trust in him, great faith in him. He has got a nice temperament. One thing I spotted when he was playing against Everton was he was taking too many touches, too many chances in and around his own box, and you have got to be careful here at Anfield because they will punish you. But it's nice to see a young lad in. If he wants to be a future Man United player, then he has got to get used to playing in this environment, obviously. Erik ten Hag names one aspect of Man United draw with Liverpool he wants improving. Erik ten Hag has named the one aspect of Man United's 0-0 draw against Liverpool at Anfield that he would change. A stubborn Man United defense held out Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool for 95 minutes, despite the referee's best attempt to end the Red Devils' resistance after Diogo Dalot was sent off late on. Dalot in general was brilliant, as was the majority of the United team, with the front three and Scott McTominay letting the side down in an attacking sense in the second half. Erik ten Hag was under huge amounts of pressure ahead of the game at Anfield with a heavy defeat, which was expected, said to be the last straw for the Dutchman, who would have lost his job had the Red Devils been battered. Speaking after the tight encounter against the club's man, Bayern ten Hag gave his verdict on the game and the one change he would have made in the clash. Ten Hag told BBC Sport when asked what he liked about his team's outing the following: "There were a lot of aspects, absolutely. I think the performance was very good from our side. The game plan went well. The players were brilliant in how they stuck together and were in the fight. My only criticism would be in possession. We could hurt them more if you get one, two, three passes in, but that's the only thing. If we scored one of the big opportunities, we could have won this game." It's hard to disagree with the Dutchman. United had an abundance of opportunities in good areas to launch counter-attacks, but without Bruno Fernandes, who was suspended for the game following an accumulation of yellow cards, they struggled to make the most of them. The Red Devils certainly had a few chances in the game to pick up an unlikely win, but couldn't complete the final pass to give themselves an advantage in the encounter. Whether this is a platform for better things remains to be seen, but this is a platform that the Dutchman has to build on, otherwise, this will be yet another false down for the Red Devils. Man United close to finalizing exit for midfielder. Manchester United are close to finalizing the loan departure of midfielder Donny van de Beek to Eintracht Frankfurt, according to Florian Plattenberg. Earlier this week, Frankfurt reached a deal in principle to sign the Dutchman on a short-term loan with an option to buy. It's now revealed that they won't pay any fee for his temporary stay. The Red Devils will reportedly cover 60% of his weekly salary during the loan stint. The Bundesliga have also negotiated a buy clause of less than 10 million euros for next summer. A medical for Van de Beek is scheduled to take place next week before his official unveiling. Frankfurt won the midfielder in their first training session after the transfer window reopens. Van de Beek has been touted to leave United for some period of time. It was anticipated that he would leave last year, but Erik ten Hag's appointment as manager changed things. The €140,000 a week star got some minutes between November 2022 and January 2023, but he barely made an impact before picking up a long-term knee injury. Since his comeback, he has hardly played for the club, with under 30 minutes this season. It's quite clear that Ten Hag does not see him as part of his plans for the future. The manager recently acknowledged that Van de Beek may have to leave the club, and we are not surprised that United are set to sanction an early loan exit. The hierarchy will be hoping that Van de Beek makes a big impression at Frankfurt, such that they can recoup at least 10 million euros out of the 39 million euros spent on him in 2020. Man United could lose Isak Hansen to Man City. Manchester United may lose Isak Hansen to rivals Manchester City. The 19-year-old has trained with the Man United first team numerous times under Erik ten Hag. He was involved in their pre-season games against Olympique Lyon, Wrexham and Leeds United. The teenager was reportedly promised a chance to impress and was not allowed to participate in the under-19 European Championships for the same reason. However, Hansen has found it challenging to receive substantial opportunities coming his way. He has yet to feature in the matchday squad this season, even when the first team suffered from several injuries. This puts a big question mark over his Man United future, considering his contract expires this summer. His former youth international colleague Oscar Bob recently scored for Man City in their Champions League game. Hansen may feel that staying with United won't benefit his career. Pep Guardiola has often used youngsters on a big stage and made them better footballers. Phil Foden and Rico Lewis are prime examples. Ten Hag has been ruthless in selling academy starlet who he thinks are not good enough to take the next steps. Zidane Iqbal, Charlie Savage, and Anthony Elanga were allowed to leave the Old Trafford this past summer. Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo are now Man United's first team regulars. Any youngster needs to develop in a stable environment. This is something Man City can provide to Hansen, but not the Red Devils. The defending Premier League champions signed 16-year-old Harrison Parker from Man United recently. The centre-back was one of United's most highly rated youngsters. Ten Hag may send Hansen out on loan in January, but the Red Devils would prefer to tie him to a new contract before sanctioning his temporary exit. Chelsea legend admits he is quite impressed by Mason Greenwood after latest display. Mason Greenwood was the standout player on Saturday night during a La Liga game between Getafe and Sevilla. Now he's been praised. Getafe beat Sevilla 3-0 away from home, which has taken them to 8th in the table, just 4 points off a Europa Conference League place. In the result, it was Manchester United loanee Mason Greenwood who shone brightest on the field with a goal and an assist. The United forward only joined Getafe on loan in September, but already looking at home in Spain. He's been among the goals and the assists on his return to football after his arrest, including a goal of the season contender. His impact on Getafe has been substantial, with his manager there only having good things to say about him. Now, after the Englishman's latest display, he's been lauded by a Chelsea legend. After Getafe beat Sevilla, Chelsea legend Michael Essien took to X with a statement on what impressed him about Greenwood. He said, "I am quite impressed seeing Mason Greenwood, a left-footed player, taking a penalty kick with his right foot and scoring." He then followed this with a football emoji, running and clapping. This, of course, will be no surprise to fans of Man United, who are all too aware of the two-footedness the 22-year-old possesses. During his time at Old Trafford, Greenwood was well known for his dual-footedness, as he regularly took shots using both, which made him tough to defend, as TIFO explained back in 2020. But if there was to be a stronger foot, it's his left. Also, they really are both that good that it's tough to notice. Another very impressive display from the England international. The praise is definitely warranted. Gonzalo Inatsu remains on the agenda of Man United ahead of January. Sporting Lisbon defender Gonzalo Inatsu remains on the agenda of Man United ahead of the January transfer window, according to Record. The Red Devils were linked with multiple central defenders during the summer transfer window, and Inatsu was one of those mentioned as a potential target. Inatsu ended up signing a new deal with an increased €60 million release clause, but the Red Devils continue to be tipped to make a proposal for him. Record claimed that Liverpool had scouts watching Inatsu in midweek, and they are likely to step up their interest in signing him at the turn of the year. However, they mentioned that United still have the player on their agenda and can't be ruled out from making an approach for the Portugal international. The centre-back has been linked with United for some period of time. He was initially on the radar last year before the club purchased Lisandro Martinez from Ajax. The Portuguese was highlighted as a target once again last summer, but United did not make any approach before he signed a new long-term contract at Sporting. In our opinion, the speculation could be agent-driven to invite high-profile interest in him. Miguel Pinho, who represent both Inatsu and United captain Bruno Fernandes, could be trying to encourage United into making a move for the centre-back. Inatsu is undoubtedly a top-quality defender, but the hierarchy have other target in mind. Nice star Jean-Claire Todibo appears the main objective for the Red Devils. Aside from Todibo, the club are said to be closely monitoring the progress of Benfica's Antonio Silva. Lennon says Premier League manager would only join Man United on one condition. Aaron Lennon believes Unai Emery may leave Aston Villa to join Man United at the end of the season, but only if he is promised a long-term project. Erik ten Hag is under huge pressure, and Man United continue to have problems on and off the pitch. They have already lost 7 games in the league this season out of 17 played, as they sit 7th in the table, 6 points of the 4th spot and 11 points of the top of the table. They have also been knocked out of Europe, finishing last in their Champions League group, comprising Bayern Munich, Galatasaray and Copenhagen. There are suggestions that the Dutch manager has lost the dressing room and may not last the season, with several managers already being linked with the job. One manager who has been recently linked with Aston Villa's Unai Emery, who has done a remarkable job since replacing Steven Gerrard last year. He guided them to a 7th place finish last season, their highest position since 2010, and in doing so, they qualified for the UEFA Europa Conference League this season. Villa are being spoken in the same conversation as other title contenders, with them sitting second in the table on 38 points, just 1 point behind league leaders Arsenal. When asked if Emery would leave Aston Villa to join United right now, Lennon told Talksport the following: "No chance, I don't believe so. He has got a squad that is absolutely flying. Obviously, Man United are one of the biggest clubs in the world, but unless they go there saying he has got a 3-4 year project to get it right, I think that's the only way. Potentially, not right now, maybe at the end of the season, not right now." United problems go beyond their manager, which is why any manager will think twice before joining them at the moment. Many managers have come in recently but failed to revive the English giants. The only way Emery would be tempted to leave Villa for United is if he is promised a long-term project with the resources to rebuild the side. As we wrap up today's Manchester United news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.